Everyone, and welcome to the completion of Module 2. Congratulations. So, this week we examined the Think About It question on whether it was ethical or would be ethical to use journalism as a cover for being a CIA operative. As you can see, the main objective for me this week was to have everyone understand that there's a huge difference between everyone's thoughts and how we look at this. And there's definitive patterns based upon where people work. Those in the CIA are more open to using different methods as opposed to those who are in the journalism industry or academic industry. This week you could see a huge disparity between those who worked in the CIA or the profession of education or the profession of journalism and so on. So you could see that it depends on your life experiences, your belief systems, your personal code of ethics. All of that plays into whether we see things as ethical. It's important to recognize those things and not try to shut them out, as they'll come back to haunt you. A student in a prior class mentioned, and it really resonated with me, and I tell this to all students, the movie Eye in the Sky. And this is something I recommend you guys to watch if you have time. I thought it was a clear example of how personal ethics can somehow collide with what you're being told and what your organization wants you to do. That's why it's important for everyone to understand what the organization's code of ethics is and how you nest within it personally. We all do this in different ways. Some of us can shut off our personal code of ethics for the sake of national security, whatever it is in our intelligence field. Some of us can tune out personal feelings or our personal ethics and just go with whatever the code is for our organizations. At the same time, I'd like to emphasize that most of us aren't able to really turn it off. At some point it may collide, and that's why it's important for everyone to understand up front their personal code of ethics and how it nests within their organization. To make sure there isn't going to be some type of massive discrepancy down the road, where you feel like you must cross a personal ethical boundary in order to save lives. So if you understand what those things are, I think that it's okay to move forward with whatever approach it is that you think you need to use within the intelligence community. It's also important, and quite a few of you brought this up, that the intelligence community maintains a code of ethics. Because a lot of times organizations state they have a code of ethics, but they violate it consistently. And that teaches the employees nothing, and it causes confusion and it causes dysfunction. So it's important that they do have a code of ethics, that they talk about it, they practice it frequently to ensure that everyone understands it. Because we all have varying levels on what we're comfortable with, and that is why it's so vital to have an organizational code of ethics, because then that gives everyone a baseline. If your personal code of ethics is, say, more stringent than others, then you may find you have more trouble with some of the things you need to do in the intelligence community. And if they aren't as strict or aren't as stringent as the organizations, and you may find you're in trouble a lot because you're violating the ethical code and could potentially lose your job. And we're going to talk about this more in the upcoming weeks. So that's my thoughts on this week's Think About It scenario in your journals. Great job. Everyone did really well. So as usual, feel free to email me on Canvas or reply to this announcement. And good luck in Module 3. I'll talk to you next week.